Who wears the trousers in the relationship? What do we prefer, the city life or the country life, and why? Because you've experienced both.
For me, 100% country life.
Why?
Any day of the week. Obviously, we have experienced both, and we've actually spent more of our lives in the city. So we definitely know what to expect and how it's been. But coming across to country life, it's just a whole other world. It is literally a whole other life. It's just peaceful, it's relaxing, and it almost feels like a holiday every day. Like when we go to London or when we leave our home, I can't wait to get back. I'm homesick, and I never really felt that in London or city life. I never missed it because it was just always too hectic.
I definitely would pick the country life over the city life any day of the week. There are things I do miss with the city life. I won't deny it.
Yeah.
For example, the convenience factor is a big deal.
Yes.
The fact that you can literally leave your house and you could walk for 5 seconds and get whatever you want is just amazing. You could be in central London in 20 minutes or less. It's just really, really convenient. But you have to take the rough with the smooth.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that the pros outweigh the cons when it comes to living in the country life or having the country life versus the city life.
So what would you say are the top pros?
The biggest pro for me living in the country versus the city is that there's no traffic and it's super safe.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
So city life versus country life for us?
Country life.
Country life, 100%.
Absolutely.
What do you think people misunderstand about you the most?
People misunderstand. Probably the most misunderstood thing about me would probably be my bubbliness, if that's actually a word. Like I tend to laugh a lot at stuff and maybe smile a lot. Sometimes it's just because I'm overall a happy person or nervous, or just that's usually my way to react around things. But maybe that can be misunderstood as ditzy, perhaps. That, you know, maybe even immature sometimes. I don't know. Does it come across as professional all the time? Maybe not. Do I come across as authoritative at times? Maybe not. Just because I could be misunderstood to be too friendly and too nice, that maybe people don't take me seriously as at times. That's probably something I could think of.
I think for you, I think that's spot on.
Oh, good.
I think that's spot on, funny enough. I definitely think people sort of sometimes see like you're always sort of kind and bubbly and smiling as almost ditzy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But it doesn't mean that. It just means that you're a positive person.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I could be completely ditzy and common sense could have maybe been lost a few times.
Did you say sometimes or all the time? I thought we were honest on this show, Tan.
Right, it's about to get really uncomfortable.
I think for me, the thing that people misunderstand about me the most, I would probably say, I think people take my kindness sometimes maybe for weakness.
Okay.
Sometimes I go above and beyond.
Yes.
To help people
You
or
do.
to just go out of my way.
Yeah.
I go out of my way to try and make someone better. You know.
I agree.
And I really go out of my way to help people, but then I feel that sometimes that help is either taken, sometimes I either feel like I'm taken advantage of, or the help maybe isn't reciprocated.
Yes.
Not that I expect it to be reciprocated. I don't expect, but if I scratch your back and then you punch me in the face, I feel like it's a bit deep.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that is actually spot on as well, because you are one of those people that is literally there for anyone, and sometimes maybe you shouldn't be, and sometimes maybe you do need to be a bit more selfish, because like you said, and I'm in agreement, you don't help someone to get the same help back. But at the end of the day, you should almost have an understanding with that person that you're there for each other. And sometimes it isn't reciprocated, and it's probably because they didn't deserve your 100% devotion in the first place. So I think that's spot on.
Oh, 100%. Next question is, who wears the trousers in the relationship?
Well, George is currently wearing a skirt, so I'm just kidding.
Do you know what? You made me look. I literally had to look down.
Right. So I would say...
Be honest.
This is a hard question.
Not really.
It is definitely hard. I think maybe you're the more authoritative person, but I definitely think I maybe can sway. So I don't know if anyone's seen my big fat Greek wedding, but George is the head of the house and I'm the neck. So I can turn the head whatever direction I want. So I would say that's pretty much to sum up our relationship. I mean, I'll ask you, but just to put it out there, I'd be careful with your response.
I think that overall, I definitely wear the trousers.
Okay.
Yeah, I am the man of the house.
That's because there is only one man.
So at least I'm not lying. You know, I click my fingers and you come running.
I almost had to pause for a second to see if you wanted to track that.
No. I think personally, I think I definitely overall wear the trousers, but we are very equal in a lot of decisions.
Yes.
I think when it comes to the final call, I say the final word. I think you can't have a couple that are perfectly equal in power. There needs to be one level different, because obviously that can cause conflict, can't it?
I would say that because you're the more confident person, I am quite happy
Yeah.
to leave you to make the final decisions and things. You know, like I'll obviously give my input, I'll suggest things, but I think I leave it to you, and I even ask you to make that final call because you feel more confident to do it. So
Yeah.
I almost give you the pair of trousers to wear. So
Yeah, sure,
you
you
don't
give it to me.
take them, I hand them to you.
Hey, thanks.
You wear the trousers and I control the zip. Zip it.
All right, next question. What is your favourite childhood memory?
Oh, that's really nice, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a really hard question. That's something I need preparation for, but let me think. All right.
Yeah.
When I was younger, growing up, I used to spend every summer in my family's home in York, right? And they lived on a farm. And we did that every summer as a child. I spent it with my sister, all of our cousins, always together. And I think that's actually got to be one of my favourite memories because it shaped me as a person. I live in a farm now and I always wanted the country life. And I'm such a family orientated person. And that is literally everything in one, and something I'll never forget. That's something that I want to create with my own family. Like, you know, traditional yearly breaks that you always see your family, you always make time, and you just build such amazing memories.
I think that the special thing about that memory is that memory has led on to where you live today and the life you have today.
Exactly. I'm a big believer in your childhood shapes who you are. And that is a solid childhood memory that has shaped who I am today and what I love. So I think, yeah, it's got to be a key one up there.
No, 100%. I think for me, my childhood memory that really sticks with me
was meeting me.
Yeah, moving on. That is actually a big part of my life. But my childhood memory,
Yeah.
I'd probably say when we were younger,
Mm-hmm.
me, like my mum, my brothers, we all used to, as like a family, we used to go to like Haven and Butlins, and we used to stay in caravans
Nice.
and have like these little children's retreats. And
Yeah.
it was like not children's, I'd say more family orientated retreats.
Yes.
It was just so nice. I used to really look forward to that. And we used to do it, I think, like yearly.
Our memories are pretty much the same in that sense, right? It
Yeah.
was spending time with family, having traditions and
Yes.
being close and growing up because, you know, both me and George are extremely close to our own families
Yeah.
and family is so important to us. So it's quite nice that we share similar memories.
If you could go back in time, what would you do differently?
See, that's a really interesting question because obviously life is not perfect, right? And there are mistakes that you make and things that you wish never happened or you did differently. Really and truly, as much as I would say I'd like to change this and this, I'm a true big believer in you shouldn't live with regrets. Mistakes that happen in your life and events that happen shape you as a person and you learn from them. So things that maybe I would change, I probably wouldn't because I might be a different person today and I might have learnt different lessons. So I don't think I would change anything.
Interesting.
There are so
That's
many
literally it.
things I would say, you know, for example, saving better or...
But you say you wouldn't do anything
But
different.
then if I changed it back then, would I have learnt the lessons I've learnt today?
I think that's such an interesting answer because sometimes the only way you can learn something is by making mistakes.
Exactly.
A lot of the time, mistakes can be seen as a good thing simply because you learnt something new that you didn't know before.
Exactly. With every bad comes a good lesson, right?
That's interesting. Damn it, you're going to make me rethink my answer now. I thought I had the
You
answer
clearly
worked
had
out.
something ready to
I had the
change.
answer worked out in my head and I was like, oh, now you
Okay,
stick
well,
with it.
right. Let's
All right.
forget my answer. What was your initial answer?
My initial answer was going to be I would have been a bit more wise with my money.
Okay.
For me to now say that I would have been a bit more wise with my money, it means that I've made mistakes financially that I've now learnt from that has taught me to
Exactly.
be more money wise. So it leads on to what you said.
Exactly. That's what I would have probably said on the offset. You know, I would have saved better or spent less. But had we have not done that, maybe now we would be making those mistakes and it might be too late to reflect on them and change our ways. We base our future plans now on past experiences and mistakes. So
Yeah.
if we lost those, what could we base it on?
Oh, that's quite true. So now this is going to bring me on to my next question. What is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Okay.
That leads on
I've
right
got a
well.
key one here.
Go on.
So we touched on this in episode 1 about me starting my own YouTube channel.
I literally knew that was going to be it.
Now, at the time, I thought it was just a hobby, something that I did to share my love for something, but I gave up. I didn't take it as seriously, and it wasn't at the time that I realized it was a mistake or a regret. It was now when I look back at something that I was good at and I loved, but I just gave it up. And that is something that I've really learned, because you have to realize that if you want something to work, you don't give it up. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done.
Boom.
And I think that it's not a regret, because it's made me learn to never give up. If I truly want something, and same with you all, you need to go for it and do not give up.
Tan, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I want to say almost my biggest failure is not keep making you continue your YouTube, but I suppose I'm not allowed to say that because like you did so well, and because we are a team, almost when you fail, I feel like I failed.
Yeah, you
in a
definitely
weird
failed.
way. I think my biggest failure, if I had to go deep, I don't know, it's a weird one, isn't it? I feel like I've got so many. I think if I'd say my biggest failure is not focusing more on my health from a younger age.
Okay.
People spend their time, eating well, looking good, staying in shape, all these things that they think makes them healthy, but actually they spend 8 to 10 hours of their day fully stressed in their working life, in their personal life, corporate life, in their life overall in general. Actually, stress is the biggest killer in the world. And I think my biggest failure in life is struggling to manage my stress and not dealing with stress appropriately and letting it get to me. Every day's a battle.
The most important thing is that you've acknowledged it and you are working to be a better you. You're working on your mindset, you're working on your gratitude, your manifestation, all the positive and powerful things that can correct that mindset and heal you from within. It's something that you're working on, and that already is something that you've used your failure to build on.
100%. And I think that is so important. Stop looking at the external factors and thinking you're healthy. You've got to look internally, your mindset, listen to your gut. Are you happy? Are you not? And I think it's safe to say that no matter what you tell people, no matter what front you put on, deep down you know if you're truly happy, fulfilled, or if you're stressed and unhappy.
Only you can ask yourself that question.
You're the only one that knows the answer to that question. So the next one is, so in 100 years, how would you want to be remembered? But you can only pick one thing to be remembered for.
I think we touched on this in episode 1 about what we would have on our gravestone, right? And for me, it's that I was just happy. And I'll say it again. I just want to be remembered for someone that took risks, took the chance, and drived to something that they wanted. I don't ever want to be known as someone who was too scared to try. I want to be known as someone who tried everything.
Well, as Mark Twain once said, in 20 years from now, you'd be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do rather than the things that you did do.
That's it. That's going on my gravestone.
I do believe that if you never try, you never fail.
Exactly.
And I think that failure is a part of growth, and that's just how it is.
I feel like a lot of people have such fear inside them, and there's probably so many things that they want to try and want to do, but fear gets in the way and questions, concerns. But life is too short. You have to try and go for what you want. And who cares if it fails? At least you can go living on saying you tried.
100%.
That's all you can do.
I totally agree. I want to be remembered for someone who helped other people.
I thought that would be your answer.
They say that if you don't change at least one life whilst you're alive, when you die, it would be like you've never been born.
Got shivers on me now.
It's so true. If you don't make a difference while you're alive, when you die, it is like you've never been born. And I can't emphasize that enough.
It's true. But the most amazing thing about that is that you being such a good person, you don't realize how many people you help on a daily basis. We're not talking, giving someone money, doing materialistic things, or these big things that you think are helpful. Just being a good person and being there for people,
paying it forward,
is helpful.
Definitely.
And that's a value in itself.
So the next question, Tan, is what is the best compliment you've ever been given? And it doesn't have to be from me.
Ooh, okay.
Well, that would be nice if it was.
Do you know what? I think one of my favourite compliments is about my smile.
You do have a nice smile.
Thanks. It's because I'm such a happy person, and to be known for that is really nice. Sometimes you say my smile is infectious, and I like that because I want my happiness to come forward to you, to inspire you to be more happier. And I think that's like an outside compliment that feels within.
I definitely think that you're a bit scary without your smile, though. We need to show your passport photo. We have to do it.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just one of the people that not only do I love smiling, but I'm not going to lie, I feel like I have to a lot because I just don't have a nice RBF face, you know?
For those that are watching, Tanya's passport photo looks like this.
No, we are not showing my passport photo. No, I can't believe that you lot have just seen my passport photo.
Also, for the people that are listening to this on like Spotify, you got to check out the video podcast as well so you can see Tanya's passport photo.
You can see my smile against my ridiculous, unhappy and angry face. It ain't pretty.
If I saw you in an alleyway and you wasn't smiling, I think I'd be scared.
On that note, what would you say is your best?
I think my best compliment is when people say that I do have a good heart.
Yes. That's my favourite compliment to give you.
Aside from when people say I'm extremely good looking, perfect in every way.
Like you said, you don't get many of those compliments.
You know. As I told you, the questions will get a bit more heated, a bit more personal as it progresses.
But yes, just to touch up on your answer, I agree. George does have the biggest heart. He honestly does. You're so good-hearted. You go above and beyond for everyone you love, and you are the sweetest.
Did you get cold feet on your wedding day?
No.
Did you not?
I didn't get cold feet at all.
Not even a little bit?
My nerves were around if the day went well, if the caterers turned up, if the cars turned up, if the church was okay. Those were my nerves, but my nerves around marrying you, nothing for me.
I'd have to say I'll agree with that, to be honest, because...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my cold feet was more like, shit, is something going to go wrong?
I think you were really nervous about getting ill. That was your biggest nerves. God.
So listen to this. So I actually stocked up. I stocked up on like basically a bunch of vitamins, minerals. I was literally like taking about 10 different kinds of vitamins a day just to make sure I was not ill. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. I was basically housebound for at least a week before the wedding.
And you wasn't even ill. I
wasn't ill. I was
preparing for the worst.
I was just so nervous because imagine having like a blocked nose on your wedding day.
Don't you find when you are ill and you're busy, sometimes when you're too busy, you forget you're ill? Yes. I've had that before where I'm like working and I'm so wrapped up that I've forgotten that I can't breathe.
Okay, now I'm going to flip it from the compliment. Let's flip it upside down now. What is the biggest insult you've ever got?
Ooh,
that's a tough one, isn't it?
That is a really tough one.
And an awkward one.
Because we live in the middle of nowhere, we don't really see anyone. So I need to think back to like years ago.
Yeah, I could think about one that might be for you. Well, I could be out one of the many, but I'll just pick one.
Go on, help me out then.
That you're a terrible cook.
That is not an insult. Actually, that doesn't work.
It's not a compliment, is it?
Do you know what, actually? Basically, when I used to live with my parents, I wasn't your housewife, you know. I didn't really clean the whole house or cook for the whole family. I was kind of lazy because I lived with my parents. I cleaned my own room, but that was it. And I guess the insult was everyone questioning, oh, when you go and move out, you're going to be lazy. You're not going to be useful. You're not going to be clean. And I knew I would be that person.
Did you know what? I'm going to agree. You know, I'm so clean. You know, I'm so helpful around the house. And I think the biggest insult is when you tell me that I'm not helpful or don't clean.
Okay, there's my biggest insult. Hearing him tell me he's clean.
I think my biggest insult would be if someone told me I could not cook.
Really?
That would definitely piss me off. Tell them how good I am of cooking. Go on, tell him.
Okay, I'll be honest. He cannot cook.
That was mean.
I'm just joking. All jokes aside, you actually can cook. And you know what? There's two types of cooks, right? Because anyone can go for a recipe. If you can't cook, if you just follow a YouTube video, do everything they tell you to do, you can cook. You follow a recipe. Yeah. But a good cook to me is someone that has a bunch of ingredients and literally makes up a dish on their own. That to me is a good cook, and that's what you could do.
That's what I do.
You wing it with random ingredients and things come out delicious. And it's a bit like my mum as well. That's why I think that's what makes you a clever cook.
What is your favourite meal that I've made?
You could probably guess it. His macaroni cheese is unbelievable.
Homemade macaroni
No
cheese.
Measurements, nothing. He just literally froze in the usual. Oh my God. It's just like cream and pasta. It's just so delicious.
Delicious, isn't it?
Something that he makes all the time. And yeah, I love it.
But you know what it is? I think that measuring your ingredients sometimes backfires on you. Because when you measure something, okay, you know what you're going to get. But why don't you try and adjust it a little bit? You never know. You might find something that you prefer.
Yeah, but then sometimes when you're going by recipe and the end result looks unbelievable, you kind of want to stick to the book.
Yeah. So on to the next question, which I think is quite a funny one, but it's for both of us to answer together, really.
Okay.
So for the people that know us and the people that have been on top of all the episodes that we're doing and whatnot, you know that we do a lot of things. All right. how would our parents describe what we do? If someone was to say, "Oh, what does George and Tanya do?" How the hell would they even
Our
describe it? What
parents
would they know?
specifically.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't have a clue.
Because I don't think they understand what we actually do.
I think mum does, because my mum watches a lot of YouTube, so she really gets it in terms of what social media is like. And your mum has her own entrepreneurial side to her, so she understands from that side what goes into what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I guess our mums are more understanding of what we're doing. I think our dads just see us as completely busy.
Yeah.
I just think
It's like, what do? They do busy.
they are always working. Whenever we're together, and we've said this before, we find it hard to put things to a side because we're business partners, and if we're together, that's an opportunity to do business. So
Yeah.
we are always working. That's how I'd probably explain it.
100%. I totally agree. I would probably say our dads don't even know what YouTube is. They haven't even heard of it.
Yep.
Our mums probably know that we do something to do with social media and content creation, but I don't think they understand exactly what it is that means. That makes sense. They'll probably know the words, but not actually the understanding of exactly what that entails.
But I guess like all our friends and family, they know on the outside what we do, but they also know just how busy we are. But I think really and truly, maybe not everyone, maybe no one other than me and you know how truly busy we are, because people may see us when we're together that we're busy, but when we're at home, we are constant.
100%. So the next question is, what is a funny story that our families always like to share about us?
I know my story. And you probably know it too.
But they don't.
If you ever go to a casino,
This is a
back
really
in
funny
the
one.
day, you used to get free drinks
I know what you're going to
and
say.
free sandwiches.
I know what you're going to say. This is so funny.
So when you're gambling, you know, the waiters, they come up and offer you this stuff to entice you to stay. So I always used to, obviously, because who doesn't like free stuff, take the free drinks and take the free sandwiches. And my mistake was that I thought that applied to every casino. So we went to a casino with George's family and our friends, and we were sat down, I was gambling, and then a waiter comes up to us and says, you know, can I get you anything? And I'm like all excited and I still get haunted for this. I say, yeah, I literally got up to everyone. I went, right, do you want a drink? Do you want a sandwich? Yeah, free sandwich, sandwiches all round. That's how I explained it.
She was literally standing. She was like this to the waiter. She was like, right, wait up, sandwiches all round. She's like, hey, sandwiches all round.
I was all excited. I was like, yeah, sandwiches, everyone gets sandwiches. The sandwiches come, the tea comes, because I've basically prompted to everyone. I've gone up to everyone. The waiter literally had to stand there, and I went to all of our group. I ran around the whole casino finding everyone. When they came, I sat there, and I remember it came toasted, and I was all happy. Before I could even take a bite, I had it in my hands. She was like, £40. I was like, and I'm still known as a sandwiches all round kind of person.
I think my one has, I think there's a funny experience I've had with you, and there's a funny experience I had as a child.
Yeah.
I feel like the one I had with you, I think was quite funny, was when we were in Spain. So me and Tanya, we went to Spain together, and to get into the reception, but you had to kind of go down a set of steps, and it was like a really steep set of steps. So like, I was wearing these flip-flops that I only had just recently bought, and I don't really wear flip-flops.
Yeah, at the time, you never used to wear flip-flops.
Nah, I never used to wear flip-flops or sandals, however they call them. And or sliders, they call them sliders as well. So I never used to wear them anyways. And so I started wearing them anyways around that time. And I literally went to walk down the steps. So Tanya had gone down into the reception first, and she was waiting for me. I went to walk down the stairs, and as I went to walk down the stairs, I literally tripped. I went flying. I fell down a whole flight of stairs. Flip-flops were flying everywhere, sliders all over the place. It was messy. I literally fell straight into, what was it, like a big vase?
You kicked a chair like a foot vase. Like it was massive.
Like a massive
vase. A floor you kicked
I
straight
literally kicked it
over.
and flying into reception. And I looked at, and we were in Spain, I looked at reception, I went, lo siento.
Sorry in Spain, but...
Not sorry in Spain, sorry in Spanish.
Sorry in Spanish, sorry.
All she sees is just boo, 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 boo. And she just sees me just flying. A whole vase like just goes flying like into the reception area. And I'm like, I get up, I'm like, lo siento.
While he's trying to pick up this gigantic vase and pick up his flip-flops, he's like, lo siento.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Let's
God.
move on to the next question. Come in. Would you leave your partner for £1 billion.
Would I leave you?
For £1 billion.
As in never see you again and break up with you
Yeah.
and everything? No, I wouldn't. I'd be tempted.
Why don't I believe you?
Don't get me wrong, I'd be extremely
Why
tempted.
don't I believe you?
As much as money is fantastic to have, it doesn't buy you love. And if I've already got love, then I can't trade it.
Yeah, I'll be gone. I'll be off, mate.
You wouldn't.
How would you pay? Cash or card?
Would you actually? No, you wouldn't.
Hasta la vista, baby.
You'd be tempted like I would, but you wouldn't.
You'd be tempted. I was only joking.
Oh, you liar. You're
wouldn't be
such a liar.
I wouldn't be tempted.
Liar. Look at you. If anyone's looking at the video, look into his eyes.
for like...
Look in the lies.
But it's £1 billion.
Like I said, we'd be tempted. Very.
I suppose the answer to that
tempted.
question is subject to the fact of if I can get you back.
Subject to... No, if the terms and conditions in the contract specifically state that both parties shall never see each other again.
That's a tough one. All jokes aside, I think I've said this in a previous episode, but I don't believe that money buys you happiness. I think that money can give you the freedom to choose to be happy, but with freedom comes a choice, and a choice doesn't always mean that you're going to make a happy or good choice.
We're in love and we're happy. We can't buy that back. Maybe you could, but...
Next question is, do you think that I have changed since we got married?
Yes, in a good way. Because it's funny, we always said to ourselves, you know, what could possibly change after we get married? You know,
Yeah.
We've been together for so long. We've grown up together. What else could there be? But when we got married, one thing did change. And I think it brought us slightly closer together. We'd made that commitment even bigger than what we've done in all the years in front of our families. We signed ourselves up for a difficult exit in an easy way to put it. And just being able to call each other husband and wife and have the same surname and be a solid unit, it just brought us closer. And I feel that you were just a little bit closer.
I like what you said. That is quite nice. I think that things have changed, but like you said, in a good way. Like
Yeah.
for me, I think that our personalities haven't changed. Like I wouldn't say you've become vile or anything like that ever since we've been married.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's quite nice to have almost that way I can call you my wife and
Exactly.
husband and wife. It's nice. I remember when we got married at the beginning, and I just was so excited to book things. I was like, I wanted to book things so that I could say a table for me and my wife.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
You didn't even need to explain who you were going with, but you'd be like, I'd like a table for two, me and my wife.
Yeah. I used to love it because I always found it like after being with you for literally over a decade, I was just fed up of calling you my girlfriend.
Girlfriend and boyfriend just sounds almost immature. And then fiance sounds a bit, you know, oh, my fiance. So the next best thing was husband and wife. And that's something we're actually, you know, proud to say.
No, 100%. So yeah, I think it's changed in a good way. It's almost concreted our relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you still attracted to me?
Oh,
Or are you less attracted
Straight
to me?
in with the next question.
Straight
Hey,
in.
woo!
Are you still as attracted to me as you was a few years ago or before we got married? Or have you lost any sort of attraction?
No, I've not lost any attraction.
No?
At all. If
That's
anything, I think it gets deeper. There's the attraction.
What gets deeper?
Oh, God.
what, are we talking about something going deeper?
The attraction becomes
Yeah.
deeper because not only are you attracted from the outside, you love them from within. I'm a big believer in someone can be even more attractive the more you get to know them. And if they're a beautiful person on the inside, they shine even brighter on the out. And, you know, the more closer we become, the more solid foundation we build. And as we progress in life, the love for you and the attraction for you grows.
No, I totally agree. I actually, even to this day, and I'm not just saying this like on camera because you know it's true, even after 14 years of being with you and knowing you and seeing you like almost all the time, every day, I still see you half naked and I think, damn!
Yeah, I've got to
Nice.
say that after all these years, you still make me feel just as beautiful.
When I married you, I married to love you unconditionally.
Oh,
So that's it.
I like that.
And on that note, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. We really hope that you found value in this episode. Please give us a thumbs up and also let us know down below in the comments what resonated with you the most.